So day one is in the books. Here are my reflections. Today I'm drinking Peet's Mocha Java. I believe it's Arabian, yes? Arabian Mocha Java World Blend. And I'm really excited to try this. I've always wanted to try this, and so I'm excited to give that a go today. So day one's in the books. What does that mean? Well, today is day two. Yesterday happened, and I'm excited to share what my thoughts were and just my reflections. This is a daily vlog. This is mostly just for me, but I thought maybe just because I'm a verbal processor, this is a good source or media source for me to kind of share what I'm feeling or thinking about education. But maybe for you, it's also a good opportunity to hear what somebody else is doing and what somebody else is learning, how somebody else is failing, all that good stuff. My thoughts about day one. Number one, community for sure. We had to work together. We had to rely on each other. We had to rely on students. And so there was a really good opportunity for the first day of school, if you haven't had yours yet especially, to emphasize community. Ask students, say, I just called out my students. I'm a tech teacher, so it gives me a little more room to do that. But I just said to my students, hey, you guys are tech students and I'm a tech teacher. There are certain things happening on my end of this video call that I'm in control of. And there are certain things happening on your end of the video call that you're in control of. We have to work together in order to be successful. And I honestly didn't know this smells amazing. Wow. Peet's, you've done it again. Goodness me. There are certain things that are on the end of the students that they're in control of, and then certain things on their end that all they can do is communicate with me. So, for example, one of my classes yesterday, we had an issue with video not working. So I had created a video for one of my classes. I was playing the video through our stream so that the students could see it, and they weren't getting any audio. So they were in the chat saying, hey, I'm not getting any audio, help me out. And that's wonderful, that's great. That's something as an educator we should embrace. It's really easy as a teacher, I know, from my experience at least, it's easy for me to kind of think that I have to have everything perfectly figured out before I do it in front of students. But that's not the future of education. The future of education is problem solving, students working together, collaborating, and that also means that as a teacher, not only am I no longer really the knowledge bearer because the internet is the know-all, Google knows way more than I do. I'm not really the knowledge bearer, I'm a skill acquisition teacher. I want my students to learn how to learn. If I can teach students how to pick up skills and learn new skills, that's going to be far more beneficial. So we are a community, we work together. Of course, as colleagues and educators, it's easy as a teacher sometimes to feel like I'm going to do things my way because that's what works best for my classroom, and so I'm not going to talk to other teachers about it. However, what you miss then is potential things that might actually give you value. And you miss that opportunity to help other teachers, which makes you feel really good about yourself. Secondly, I think yesterday was marked by the need for flexibility. We have to be super flexible with this online learning environment. I don't know what your district's doing. Right now, our district is full online, but teachers are all in the building, as you can see here. So what that means for us is we have the availability of all of our resources from school, but our students are all at home and we're teaching from the classroom, which feels so much more normal than teaching from home. At least for me, that was a really difficult transition because I have all these resources available to me I'd like to be able to use. It was definitely necessary to be flexible during the actual class period as well because there were just certain things that didn't work out, certain things that took longer than expected. Taking attendance with online learning when students are kind of trickling in and some students are showing up 5 to 10 minutes late because they haven't figured out the new technology yet. That is a challenge. That is a lot of work, and you have to be really flexible and you have to have a really good attitude about it. Otherwise, it's going to get you flustered, and you know what happens as a teacher when you get flustered. So the third thing that I think really stuck out to me yesterday is enthusiasm. Man, it is a sterile environment being online. I mean, it's just so empty. There's that moment. I don't know about you, but we ask our students to mute themselves, or we set up mute upon entry, and so they show up and they're muted. And so it can be really quiet. It can be really empty. It can feel really weird. As an educator, you're used to asking check for understanding questions all the time, and so that leads you to say things like, "Hey, does that make sense to you?" And you, the kids don't respond because they're all like, from the video screen. So it's just really not the most comfortable situation. It has definitely has its levels of discomfort. However, if I just noticed if I brought a little extra enthusiasm with my other classes, that it made a huge difference. That students were then more warm, that students wanted to chat and wanted to talk back. I also figured out I just have to call students out. I just have to say their name. John Smith, unmute yourself and tell me how you're doing. And that was really just to engage each individual student and make sure that every individual student was there, present in the moment, and also felt like, hey, I'm supposed to be here. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They need to feel safe. They need to feel a sense of belonging. So we want to make sure that students feel that belonging even though they're online. I'm a naturally enthusiastic person, but I think this sterile environment and talking to cameras thing can definitely feel very different. It's hard to talk to a camera and really imagine that camera is a human being, but it's true. And I'm going to go to my assistant superintendent in our district, something that she said during new teacher orientation. To all the new teachers, she just pointed out that these kids get one education. Their K-12 experience is one. We might teach for 35, 40 years, those of us who take a full career in this field. Those kids only get that one K-12 experience. So what are we doing for those students in your classroom? Whether you teach 2nd grade or you teach 7th grade or you teach 12th grade, this is their only 7th grade year. This is their only 12th grade year. This is their only 2nd grade year. So what are you doing to ensure that their 2nd grade experience is as good as it can possibly be? That's something that I've been asking myself, something that I keep challenging myself with every day. How can I make sure that my 6th graders feel this 6th grade experience? All right, now my video's over because my coffee is ready. So let's give it a test. All right, full disclosure, I had to actually pause the video so that I could actually really write down everything that's happening in this cup of coffee, this Arabian Mocha Java from Peet's. It is smoky for sure. It has a full body. This is my favorite type of coffee. I love a coffee that when you taste it, there's so much happening and it feels like a powerful punch to your mouth. It's a bold coffee. It's somewhere in that nutty, caramely, chocolatey. Do you say caramelly or would you say caramely? Caramelly, I don't know. Nutty, caramely, chocolatey family with like just a minor acidity, not super acidic, but enough acidity to not be bland, and like a good carbon. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter. Does it really matter? It's fantastic. If you like coffee, get yourself Peet's Arabian. Not a sponsor, by the way. I'm not cool enough to have sponsors, so I think I'm legally supposed to say that because that's what I hear other YouTubers say, but it's a fantastic coffee. Go get it. My encouragement, my challenge for myself today is to focus on how I can access community with my students, be flexible when things aren't going well, just plan for that it's gonna go wrong mindset, and then thirdly, be as enthusiastic as I possibly can to make that sterile environment feel energetic. That's today. I hope that you have a fantastic day of teaching.